Don't push anything.
That's why I get it.
It's
all the brain.
Yeah, so it's all brain.
It's all brain
All
power.
brain. Biggest muscle you've got. That's emphasis.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Well, put your head on the table one
Step closer so I can get you in the range with your parents. Step in, more,
Little dance.
more.
Well,
Dun,
first off,
dun, dun.
Tap
I
dance.
just spit all over the place. See, as a youngest child, I was the beneficiary of lots and lots of advice. Not necessarily for me, but listening to mostly Cheryl, a lot of Joe, not so much Ed, but I learned a lot of all the
You're
advice.
welcome.
Yes, you were fantastic. As a learning example, I couldn't have asked for somebody better to learn not to
All about you, Dave. Yeah, all about
Cheryl,
you.
step that way so I can get you.
You know, some of the advice was good, some of the advice was okay, some of the advice we listened to, some of the advice we didn't listen to, like when you gave advice to Cheryl, it was always the boys' fault, all the time, but when it was our turn, it was always the girls' fault, all the time.
Both were
We
right.
never did bad in any game whatsoever, even if I struck out 5 times and you know, dropped the pop fly and we could have won the game. It wasn't my fault. It was the grass, it was the dirt, it was something else.
Sound you're right.
But honestly, I never ever did. Only once, maybe. But the point is, it's not the advice that you told us. It's how you live your life, how you treat each other, how you treat other people, and that's the most important advice that we can have, because that's.
Thank you, Dave.
You've gone so.
Thank you,
Right.
Dave.
Right.
Thank you, Dave.
Dave, that's for Dave.
Uncle Dave did a good job. I still need to try. I have my tissues ready.
Cover the dome.
I have nothing prepared.
I actually say it.
Baby.
Oh, it's more than one page. Oh, good.
Drink small font.
Everybody get a double, single space.
I've been married so long that I
Everybody get a chair.
so that because I'm this old, but they
Can I
can't get
just
them
give
over
you
my
a
hat.
tissue already because we know where this is going.
I'm
Happy
armed.
still walk in this case.
Wait, you're
Close
not
at
going to
11,
anything, right?
I didn't realize that there would be so many people talking already, so my first line is actually not really
Just say it.
current
It's
anymore.
fine.
You've been married for 50 years. During that time, you've kept your vows. To love, honor, and obey, particularly Buzz. Buzz, can you get me a glass of water? Buzz! Buzz, we all know.
You could say something.
Buzz can get Buzz obeys. In sickness and in health. Lately, it's been a little sickness. And accept children lovingly from God. And that's the part I want to talk about today because I happen to be one of those children that was accepted lovingly from God. I remember growing up in a good home. One where a child felt safe, loved, and encouraged. I remember Mom being excited about every good grade I got. I remember being excited to tell Dad when he got home I got a good grade on the spelling test, and he would go, "That's great, Joe." I remember following all the bedtime rules, doing the chores, helping out in the yard, doing our homework. Well, Ed and I did our homework. But I also remember a lot of fun time, playing Monopoly, playing a lot of board games, playing in the yard. I remember a lot of fun. You name it, we had fun, but we played for hours outside. We would roam in the woods, we'd go everywhere, and actually, because of that, I still have a love of the woods. I bring my kids out hiking all the time.
Yeah.
It's,
Aw.
that's us. We love being in the woods.
So,
And as everyone knows, we love the beach. You've taught us to love the beach, the kids. Where's the best place in the world? Where's the happiest place in the world?
beach.
Not Disneyland.
Try again. What's the happiest place in the world?
The beach. Papa and Grandma's beach.
With Grandma and Papa.
Yeah.
Where
Papa and Grandma's beach to be specific. I remember Dad coaching all my baseball and basketball teams, working in the yard constantly, especially on the pitching. This always meant, Dave and Ed know this a little bit too, always meant bruised shins, long walks to go get a wild pitch. I remember one day in winter, probably when I was home from college. I remember this distinctly. And I was out, there was snow on the ground everywhere, so we had to go on the street to pitch. And our dad was going up into the circle to get all the wild pitches. Remember, he was in his blue jacket, he had his Irish cap on, and I remember just being out there. And I also remember him coming in and impassionedly giving me some kind of advice face to face. And I don't have a clue what he said, because I was overcome at that point with how that he was out there with me in the snow and in the winter. And all I could think of at that point, even though I was just a teenager, so you guys can feel this too, I just love this man so much that he's out here. So it's probably why I'm not in the major leagues, because I missed the one piece of advice that I should have had. But I remember thinking, I just love him so much for being out here. And speaking of baseball, also I remember Dad taking me to my 13-year-old All-Star game right after Grandpa's funeral. It was obviously a hard day. And he was talking to me so much about how Grandpa loved me and was proud of me. So good so far. And then he said, he started talking about how much he enjoyed being with me those past few months playing baseball. And how much, remember, this is how I feel about you. That's pretty much how the rest of that goes. But I remember him saying how much he enjoyed being with me in baseball, how important it was to spend that time with him. And I know now.
Yeah, you know.
Can I help you?
Go read it. With all the inflections.
It's tradition, line up, finish each other's sentences.
I'm actually here for one
Last
of
time.
these. Want me to help you?
No, I'm good.
Alright.
It's combining Grandpa with everything that stuff. Anyway, part of it was you passed that on to me, and I feel that way with my kids. When Dad couldn't be at a game, Mom was there. Sometimes yelling at the ref, the umpire, but you always knew that Mom had your back. Can I get an amen on that one?
Amen.
And as all the grandchildren know, it wasn't hard for Mom to find the positive in anything that you did. She was the same whenever you had your heart broken by some girl. It was always that girl's loss, and you were always better off without her. I also remember being grounded in high school one Friday night. I was in my room. Matt Murdo was calling, "Can you please let him out?" Mom said no, I deserved it.
Did you do that?
I was stuck in my room. I was there for about 15 minutes and Mom was knocking on the door. "Come on outside. Why don't you watch TV with me and Dad?" No sooner did I come out, we had popcorn, we had soda, we had a great night. Then we watched MASH, Father Dowling Mysteries, whatever was there. But it was a great night. As a teenager, I had the best Friday night ever because Mom was included in me. But even as we grew older, Mom and Dad had all the answers, and I know Ed, Dave, and Cheryl can agree. There didn't seem to be any situation where they didn't know exactly what to do. There wasn't any question we can ask them where they didn't have the answer. It was amazing. They would share their perspective, and we knew it was wisdom. And it's still the case, even as old as I am now, and it's older than you think. They always knew what to do. And they were always so positive about everything. No matter what came their way, they were completely positive. Any worry they had, any issue that came up with work or whatever, it never affected us. We never knew about it. And they shared that positive attitude with Cheryl, Ed, and Dave. I got musculoskeletal issues, bad stomach and baldness, and the separate worry gene, but the rest of them got the positive attitude. The big epiphany though comes when you get out of your own and you have your own family. Now you know, I gotta pay the bills, I gotta do things for myself. You have a whole new appreciation for what your parents did for you. Then you have your own kids, and you realize just how much your parents love you. It's only when you have your own kids that you get that. Once you start having to deal with your kids acting up, you realize how much you owe your parents an apology for the way that you acted. That's a bit of a Cosby curse. You then spend the rest of your life in penance trying to make up for that, but you realize they don't want penance, they just want grandchildren. So we have 11 of the best kids, and our family has grown from the original 6, it's a hockey term for those who don't know, to 21. And it all started with you. But it goes on forever. Because you have passed to us your love, your integrity, your faith, your wisdom, and we've done our best to pass on to our children what we've learned from you. We are all proud to call you Mom and Dad, Grandma and Papa. And to paraphrase Mom, you know, other people think that they have the best grandparents, but we know that that's not true.
Yeah, we do.
We have the best parents and grandparents. God bless.
Are you sure Danielle's not older than me?
Who's
Daniela
next?
is older than Ed. Wait, no, Dave.
Do you need to read that?
Dave already went.
I wasn't sure, I didn't know, I thought it was him.
Then Daniel.
You're April, I'm May.
Uncle Ed,
Let's just, I've got you by a month.
Uncle Ed, I think that you just
Like that.
guaranteed with that
Good
right
job.
right there, the next time she feeds you, your plate will be choice.
You know what, I'm in the bathroom all the time anyway.
It'll go right through.
Ed,
It's not
I'll
for you.
forget in 5 minutes, it's all good.
It's just because,
Gotta put a hat on. There we go.
that's all.
Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun.
didn't have anything
Now I do.
prepared on purpose because I knew all that was gonna happen. No, I'm just kidding.
I
No,
know this up there too, and it still happened.
Yeah. No, all I wanted to say, you have a small head, Dad.
Get closer to the table so I can get you with the grand
Sorry.
picture
So,
here.
you know, 50 years is an awful long time. So I was listening at church tonight, and I noticed, Mom, when the priest said, okay, so you've 50 years of all your joys and sorrows, and you nodded, kind of like, I wasn't sure, did you nod with the joys, or did you nod with the sorrows? And I
Joys.
kind of guess that you nodded right in the middle of the two, and that's kind of what I've gathered for people who've been married a long time. I see a lot of people who, in my practice, who are married for a long time. I always ask them the same question, and there's always like 2 common answers. One of which is Scotch, and the other one is you know, I just say yes. But I think that's the whole thing. You have to suck it up with the joys, with the sorrows, and you have to celebrate the joys. So I think that every family goes through all that type of stuff, and that's what you've taught us, is that, okay, you can celebrate the joys as a family, and this is the key, because the sorrow may only happen to one kid. And I remember you saying this once, is that, you know, if one kid is down, I gotta devote, I love all 4 kids, but I gotta devote most of my energy to that kid, and the rest of us got it. You know, that, okay, you know, if someone else is down, we gotta, you know, step back for a second. And then the next kid who's down, you celebrate, you put all your energy into one kid at that particular time. So, as a family, that's what you nod your head to. We celebrate our joys as a family. We suck it up as a family to our sorrows.
Yes.
And that's how all 21 of us are together. You know,
Yes.
it's everybody is still here. Everybody, you know, if somebody's down, oh, I don't know, like a heart transplant or something, or, you know, or, you know, a broken hip and a broken back, you had the one up, you know. So
Oh.
everybody will get it together, whether it's also colitis, whether it's celiac sprue, whether it's 5,000 different allergies. You know, we got each other's back, and that's what family's about.
That's right.
So now it's an
Perfect.
older
Thank
person.
Oh, you're gonna make me
Good
dance?
catch. Good catch.
All right, so,
You're only as happy as your most miserable child, and I'm sorry Joe has condemned you for all these years. So, I remember many, many moons ago being blessed enough to venture out to the beach with this very persistent youngin' who kept trying to date me. And I ventured out there
That's
to meet.
inaccurate. That's not how you tell it.
This, I'm wearing the hat! I've got the hat!
Buzz and Judy, 30
It's
years
all
from
wrong.
now.
Hat. So, at that point, I met this wonderful man who had been out there
Thank
at the
you,
same time.
thank
That's inaccurate.
And another sister-in-law who had been out there a year prior. And a soon-to-be sister-in-law who I instantly became friends with prior to even that meeting. You were the first wonderful man. Did you not catch that? Pay attention, Jim. I'm wearing the hat.
That is accurate. Well, he was saying that's not accurate.
I had already said, oh my God, play back the tape.
Exactly. Replay.
I'm so ignored.
We love you, Dave.
Okay, I'll cook. Everybody shut up. So while I was dating Dave and Joe simultaneously, and I
That's
came
accurate.
across the two of you, and we had that first Labor Day at the beach, I realized that there was something as large and as incredibly crazy as my family is. It was kismet. I found our perfect match. And as much as, I didn't want to be the cougar and date this younger guy, I fell in love with his family. And I fell in love with, what is this?
It's the hat.
The role models that you guys have been, and the people that we strive to be, and the parents that we hope to persistently be for these two. Yeah, we fall short on occasion, but you kind of suck as kids. That's accurate.
That's accurate.
Ultimately, there are 21 people in this room that I love with all of my heart, and I can't thank you enough for bringing all of these people together and for emulating exactly what it is that we all want to be at that age, at this age, and at your age. And thank you for always showing what a true marriage should be.
We love you too, Danielle.
Ah, very nice.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you. Take the tissues.
There's just so much.
Right now.
There's so much. It's hard to pare it down. My gratitude to you is boundless. I have learned more than I can possibly express. I say to myself, I get it. Because you said to me when I was growing up, someday you'll understand. Well, you've accomplished your goal. I get it. And I say to my kids, someday you'll understand.
That's true. No, you don't.
You will.
That is true. Someday you will understand.
I have never heard that.
Zip it. I say that a lot also.
Zip it.
The family you provided growing up was just joyful. We were always so happy to be together. The environment was extraordinary, and that's what I strive to provide, and I think I fail on occasion,
No.
often.
No.
Quiet. But I strive to do better.
No, they're great.
Thank you. I know. Thank you. They're awesome.
Yeah.
The family, the siblings, what you instilled in us is extraordinary, and there's no words to truly describe it. So, I want to thank you because I get it. I want to thank you because the best compliment you can ever give me is you're doing a good job. You're a good mother.
I know that.
And I can't thank you enough. I married a man that Dad has a lot of qualities that you do, and there's a reason for that, because I respect you highly, and Mom, I desperately want to be the mother that you were to us.
Oh, please.
So I'm grateful to everything you've done for us, all the sacrifices you have made, and we are so here to honor the extraordinary life that you have led.
Thank you.
And we want it to continue many, many, many more years. So thank you.
Yeah, Cheryl. What?
That's really a tough act to follow.
Good job, Cheryl.
A couple notes I have.
Oh,
First of
man,
all,
sure.
I just want to say, I lost my notes. So I will say the things that are coming to my mind. First of all, we talk about Pop and Grandma supporting everyone and coming to all the grandchildren's things and everything. But they've also come to all of our things. For Cheryl's first half marathon, Cheryl Lindsay's marathon, to my marathon, and, well, Ed, you're out of luck.
Get closer so we can get them.
So, you know, you've always been there for all of us too. And I have told my children, I want you all to listen to this, all of you, all 20, whatever, y'all.
Y'all.
I've told my kids this, you have your friends who are your world, and you think they are your world. But the people who are in this room are the people who are your world and will be with you for the rest of your life. And that's what you always say, that I just want the 21 of us, this is what we need, right? And that is something really important to remember. And the other thing I just want to add is that I pray that my kids will someday stand up and say something nice about me. I can't imagine. Me too. Stories I have heard about Cheryl. And the fact that she stands up and says these things brings me so much hope. And I'm grateful for that.
You're not getting anything out of
Yay!
He caught it.
Oh man.
That's great. Uncle Jim.
Wacka wacka.
Alright. So, you went to Vermont and didn't stop by. Alright. You give in-laws a bad name because you're supposed to be terrible people and you're not. You're obviously wonderful people. From the minute we met you and you know the in-laws, the other in-laws said that you know you're just so very special and you've always been just so supportive. You know our wedding was such a magical time. You know, Papa, you said on my wedding day, you said, Jim, I want you to know your family now. And, you know, feel free to call me Dad. Not to be a substitute for your own father, but feel free to call me Dad. And you know, that was very touching. And thank you for that. I remember that. I'll always remember that for my wedding day. Since I am last, I think it's important to end on a funny note. But somebody asked you earlier, what was one of your top 10 days of your marriage? And you actually told me that our wedding day was one of your top 10 days. You said, Jim, this is one of the best days of my life. Yeah. I said, Papa, why? He said, Jim, today you took my daughter's hand down the aisle. Today you took my daughter's hand in marriage. Today you took your daughter's hand out of my wallet and put it in. and I said,
I thought it was the Yankee song.
So thank you very much for being such an inspiration to all of us.
Thank you, Jim.
Yay! Yay!